Welcome back to Gold Derby. I'm Christopher Rosen. I'm so pleased to be joined by Kiersey Clemons, who plays May on the Apple TV Plus drama series Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. Great show, love it so much. I guess just to start, you've done like so many projects. I was looking at your resume, just like tons of stuff. I've seen you in tons of stuff, different genres, different like styles. So when you approached for Monarch, I guess what made it seem like something that you would want to do and like you were excited about, like kind of being a part of?
I think that I hadn't had that satisfaction yet of being a part of this really big universe of monsters. And I wanted to see what it would feel like. I also really loved the character of May because I felt like I didn't often get the opportunity to play someone quite guarded. And I like to perform as far away from myself as possible. I mean, there will always be a part of whoever I'm playing that's somewhere deep within me. But I also really loved the creatives behind it when we had our first meeting. I felt they made it really exciting to collaborate and to give me this freedom to play with who this person was. And I also just wanted, I mean, I love Godzilla, but I wanted to get closer to King Kong. Kong.
Kong is great. Maybe for season two, right? Well, we can talk about that later, but certainly it sets up for more Kong in
That's
season two.
my, I don't know, but that's what we're over here. Well, I
I
want to
want
be on
you.
his back. I want to be on his back. Like,
Oh my
come on.
god, that'd be so good. I want to ask you about the guarded part of. I think it's like really interesting because obviously, like we learn about May throughout the show and like her backstory, but like when we meet the character, like you said, like she's very guarded, like, and I guess I was found that really like you're ahead of the audience, obviously, but you still have to like make that feel real and also like make it connect to what we'll find out later. And I guess like how is that like how much of a challenge is that to like play that so it's not obvious necessarily like what happened, but like also like you have to make it so when the audience is catching up, they're like, oh yeah, of course, like all this feels of a piece. But I
Yeah.
just found that really interesting, like especially in your performance, because it is like really it feels like you're walking a tightrope almost.
Oh my gosh, it is very difficult to play someone, introduce someone to the world, someone May is new. We don't know her. And for her to be so guarded and so uncertain about her intentions and why she's here and what she wants. And when you also add in like the romantic element, it can make someone quite unlikable, right? So I kind of at a certain point had to just accept that that's who she was going to be. And that's okay. I feel like as an actor, you learn from your teachers and your coaches. You got to always, you can't make the audience hate your character. And I think that's kind of honestly, that's one of the like, that's like some acting class shit that I think is spewed out. And it's not, we don't, that's not even true. We watch stuff all the time where there's a villain, the bad guy. And I think though with a movie, you get to understanding them a bit sooner. And with a show, it is walking a tightrope. I was like, oh my God, I really hope that people just like give her a chance, stick with her, we're getting there. But by the end, I think there's a little bit of resolve for her, and there's so much about her that's revealed, and you can't help but understand her. And you know, going into the next season, God knows who she's going to be and what she's going to have to do. But that makes it really exciting for me.
Yeah, I mean, and as a viewer too, like I never felt like you're right. I think, and like maybe in a different show, and if a different actor was in this part, maybe it would have been like obviously different. But like, I mean, just like I never felt like May was like really a villain, and even like if she did things where I'm like, oh, that's not great, right? It's like I think the way you there's like almost because of like the way you play her, it feels like honest in a way, right? Or just like truthful to her, and I found that like really compelling, I guess.
Nobody likes a dodgy guy. You know, we can appreciate when we meet someone and we're like, you suck. Or you're great. I love you. You know, you're nice, you're mean. But when someone is, you're really uncertain, it doesn't sit with you in a right way. And I wanted to, of course, I want to vouch for my girl. I want her to sit with people the right way, but I had to let that go. But that's the fun part, the challenges of being an actor. And I had Anna and Ren, and we were all getting to know these people and had so much fun. But also, you finish the first season of a show. I think this is probably relatable. The first season of a show, there aren't many days that you go to bed without thinking, I suck. I ruined the whole thing because you're still stepping into this world and you're learning as you go and you shoot things and then you look back like, no, if I knew that, I would have done that different. But that's being a human, right? We
Mhm.
go through that all the time. There's a lot of stuff I look back on like, well, damn, in hindsight.
Did you meant like you mentioned like um Ren and Anna who play Kate and Kentaro. Did like what like did your on-screen relationship mirror your off-screen with the character? Because it does feel like you guys are all like you don't know each other at the beginning, right? And that's the whole story of the show. It's getting to know each other and stuff. Did that like kind of mirror what you guys experienced on the show, I guess?
I mean, of course, the getting to know each other part, that really helps when you are starting a show where everyone's meeting for the first time versus having to like establish people who went to college together and are childhood friends. Um, I think unlike our characters, the three of us, we all get along a lot better. And I find that our personalities are very complementary um to like with each other, to one another. I feel like we're really good at like as a gang handling conflict together or even just scheduling a trip. We all know like our parts in we take outside trips outside of Vancouver to the forest and whatnot to get away, and we all knew Anna's booking, I'm driving, Ren's gonna just do what me and Anna tell him to do and make us laugh, you know. I think we have that, and our characters don't have that quite yet, but they were kind of getting there. I think they'll
I
get there.
Yeah, well, the other that's great. And the other thing I liked about the relation, the three of you and together, and like you have all you together, I think there's a great chemistry. And then individually, I think you all have separate chemistries with each other that I also really liked and
Yeah.
appreciated. And I thought that was like really fun, especially like I like how your chemistry with Anna really kind of evolves, and obviously with Ren too. I just found all of that like really compelling to watch. It makes those scenes. That's the thing I love about this show, just in general, where I was like, oh, it's one of these shows where obviously you're jumping around through time and different timelines. But like you're never, as a viewer, I was never like, ah, man, I'm getting bored of this timeline. You know what I mean? Like it's like it always kind of like everything was great and everything working together really well. So I
Yeah.
really like
It's
that.
it's it's interesting. I'm thinking about this for the first time now that you're saying that I think also on a personal level, I think I started out chatting with Ren more because we were obviously doing more scenes together. So initially, I probably knew him a bit better than Anna, which is a reflection of the history that they have in the
Mhm.
show. And then because I was doing more intimate stuff with then Anna, then I became more chatty and close with Anna. And so it was, I guess it was, yeah, the experiences were mirroring each other. That's funny.
Did you meant like we find out like obviously I guess I'll spoiler alert the show is out, so if you're watching this like you should maybe have watched the show, but it's just in general obviously we find out like May is Kora, right, in the earlier time, and has been very much disillusioned, I guess, right, I would say, or lack of a better word, I guess think how did what was it like to get to play those parts, like I said, and then like kind of like how did you view, like, do you view them as two separate characters almost like Kora and May, or is it the same person, I guess. I mean, it is the same person, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I don't think I necessarily tackled it as really separating it to make it so defined, but I looked at it more so in the moment of um, the way that Cora would handle confrontation or conflict. She's pulling back what May would actually do. Um, I think it's more of there are things about May that Cora could definitely be more like. May's not the worst person in the world. And so I kind of had to let go of that growth per se, the stuff that the wisdom that she now is carrying that Cora doesn't yet have. I had to put that stuff to the back of my mind. But it was so nice to be able to smile doing stepping into being Cora it was nice because I got to hopefully charm people a little bit and win them over a little. I think it was time to see May smile and laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you do. I was definitely charmed by Cora, and it also makes it more heartbreaking, right? Because it's like, oh, like she's like really getting beaten down. I hate when you hate seeing people getting like beaten down by the world. It's so it's such a bummer. So like,
Yeah.
do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just we didn't mention I didn't mention Kurt Russell, but obviously it's like Kurt Russell's on the show. He's amazing on the show, and you get to do like a lot of fun stuff with him, like run around. Interviewed I interviewed him and I interviewed Wyatt, and not to humble brag, but I interviewed these guys, and like
Tell me.
Wyatt was like, well, Wyatt was like, oh, like it's like people are like surprised that he's so enthusiastic, right? Like even like at 72 or whatever he is, he's been in the industry for 60 years, and he's got this like it's just nonstop energy for the material. And I guess was that your experience too, basically?
Yeah, I feel like we've been saying that. He is definitely, yeah, that's my dog. Look, she has a great personality. She's a feisty one. She wants them squirrels so bad.
Aw.
She wants the squirrels and the skunks and the birds. Like, um, Kurt, Kurt is like my dog. He's like really excited. I'm being so serious. And we're the squirrels. He's like, come on, let's play. He is so, I do hope that when I'm his age and I'm in my antique era, I hope I'm as excited as he is. And he really also just is such a fun guy to work with. Like he is, I don't know, he is so exuberant and he talks shit. Like we just sit around and we gossip. And yeah, he also very much roots for our characters. Like behind the scenes, he'll knock on our trailers and be like, that line doesn't make sense. Why are you saying that? And I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying in this scene. So I love that you're paying attention to me. But he does that for all of us. He cares about the story, and that's why he's such a good storyteller. And he definitely, me and Anna and Rin, we would talk about how much more invested we were because of him. And he's definitely an inspiring person to work with. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it comes across too. And again, like I'm sure his dynamic, like in the show, is like I like the all of the dynamic you all have together is really great on screen. So it does seem like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have like you mentioned like wanting to work in this like monster world and like all this stuff? Did the experience match your, I guess, expectations that you had maybe going in or exceeded?
Think yeah, it exceeded it, to be
Okay.
honest. We were in a lot of different locations and there were all these different elements. I thought we would be in front of a blue or green screen a lot more. So it was awesome to be able to use that and actually be in the snow and in the dirt and in the heat. I think as well, I didn't necessarily know how I was going to find a way to ground myself in the world. That was the challenge that I was very excited about, was figuring out how I was going to take this heightened world that I was in where monsters exist. And then I realized we do live in a world where monsters exist. So it actually wasn't that it wasn't as much of a challenge as I thought, and I got to focus on the other challenges, um, which I obviously love. That's why I'm an actor, of those interpersonal relationships and really weird love stories.
Definitely. Yeah. So we mentioned so it's coming back for season 2. Can't wait as a viewer. And I'm sure you're excited too. Like you said, you want to ride King Kong, but other than that, what are you hoping you will find? What are you hoping is ahead for the show in season 2? And have they even talked about it yet, or even gotten there yet with you?
I don't even know what I'm allowed to like say of like where we're at. We
Sure.
are going back, obviously.
Right.
Um, and I spoke to Chris Black, our showrunner, a couple of days ago, and I'm gonna go to the writer's room, not to write. Like, come on. I can't write this show. Too good. And just see everybody, and everyone's really excited. And I have been speaking to Anna and Ren every day. We're very excited. We're really looking forward to, our characters could really go anywhere. The ending, the season 1 finale is so kind of like sets us up for such a great for the next season, that we always knew it's gonna be a wild ride either way, because anything could happen.
Good. I like that. That's good. I like that song too. That's good. This is great. Kiersey Clemons, who plays May on the Apple TV Plus drama series Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. Fantastic show, as we've discussed here. Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.